Hi, welcome. My name is Riley. I'm using my phone as a microphone because there's a fan directly behind the camera. I know you guys don't want to hear that. Also, it is so incredibly hot right now in Europe that I've been going into Zara just for air conditioning, which has not been great for my wallet, but has been great for my closet. Also, if I look a little glowy, it's sweat. And if my hair is a little crazy, it's because I jumped in the sea yesterday and I haven't washed it since. The heat is making me like so sleepy, and I feel like I've lost like all of my brain cells as well. So yay Europe, and yay a lack of air conditioning. This apartment actually has air conditioning. It just doesn't work, and even if it did work, it's not in my room. So like double with me. But if you've never seen my face before, hi, I'm Riley. If you have seen my face before, it's been a while because I haven't like sat down and like spoke on here in a bit. And it has been a little bit. I feel a little like, how do you talk on camera again? But like, we're getting there. Basically, there's so much I want to talk about. There's so much that's like happened in my life that's like so cool and so exciting. But the main thing that you can gather the title of this video is that I like moved to Italy. Like I just up and left, and it's like been a dream of mine for so long to do that. So then to have the opportunity to actually go do that, like I feel so amazingly like grateful, and yeah, just like grateful beyond words to my parents for helping me do this, and for my best friend who's like welcomed me into her world, and grateful to all the people that I've met here that's like made this life here exactly what it is, and like something so beautiful that like better than I like could have pictured it, and I was already picturing it like top tier amazing level. And that's not to say it hasn't been without its struggles and its ups and downs. I think that's true of moving to any place, but especially moving to a different country and being a part of a culture that's different than your own. And while I'm from California and I'm living in Italy now, and it's still Western culture, it is different in so many ways. And that's just been such a beautiful experience, and challenging at sometimes, but like all of the amazing moments have definitely outweighed the hard ones. And I wanted to make this just to kind of talk about that. And if you're someone that's been considering moving abroad, whether it's to Italy or elsewhere, there's a lot of amazing things to consider. And I'm just gonna talk about like a few of them, I guess. And I also have been like trying to think about how I want like my online presence to look, because I feel like I kind of jumped into an online presence when I was really young. And as I've been getting older, I've been trying to find out what it means for me to be online, and like the privacy that I want, but also I love to share, and I love like community, and I love the idea of making a community or building off of the one that currently exists here, which I'm like so grateful that there is even like a little community here. So yeah, I've decided to start making kind of like podcast style episodes where I just like sit and talk. That way I can sort of maintain the privacy of not like vlogging my day-to-day life, but I get to still really talk about the things that are really meaningful and important to me and like a big part of my life, but still like share a lot with you guys. So for starters, I feel like it's a big kind of like dream, maybe. I feel like I hear a lot of Americans that really want to like up and leave and like go to Europe. And I know a lot of people look into ways that they can do that like job wise, or getting a master's over here and getting a student visa and then trying to work in the job market here. So there's a lot of different ways that I know a lot of people come abroad. Also like studying abroad during university is another great way. I am over here not working. I'm here on a gap year, and I am an Italian citizen, which allows me to live here without needing like a visa or any sort of sponsorship. But I know that's like a really popular way for people to get over here. So I won't be able to touch on anything about that, but I just want to talk about kind of like my experiences with like switching and like living in like a different place. I will start with maybe the harder things, and then we'll get to like the amazing things to end on like an amazing note. I would say like at the very core, I want the message of this to be like, go do it. Like go move, go get yourself outside of your comfort zone. I think of like Anthony Bourdain and how he says like get as far away for as long amount of time. I don't know exactly what he says, like a beautiful quote to just expand your world. And the best way to expand your world is to take your body and put it in a different place in the world, and your mind expands with it. So at the very core, go do it. But be a little realistic, it's going to be a little bit hard at times. For me, I really struggle being so far away from my family. It's really hard to like not be able to just like talk to my parents at any time, and like waiting for them to wake up, and like if something's happening, if something's going on, like I just have to wait for them to wake up to talk to them about it. So that can be hard if you're really close with your family. There's a bit of a disconnect with time zones, as well as like kind of a fear of if something happens, I can't just like be home within a few hours. It is like really expensive and a really long amount of time for me to go home. Like it takes me at least 24 hours to get home if I left like right now, in terms of trains and flights and stuff like that. And that's just something to consider. It's hard to be like, if something were to happen to someone in my family, like I can't just be there for them at the drop of a hat. And that's one of the harder things that I didn't expect was going to be a part of like living abroad. And being in touch with my friends from growing up and college has been a lot harder because of the time difference. But I will say, like, your friends that you're meant to stay in touch with, you definitely will stay in touch with. Like, I've been able to speak with most of my close friends almost every single day, at least once a week. And it's just been so amazing to see our connections and our friendships grow in like a different way, because we no longer live in the same place. And just be so excited to hear about their lives in like a much more intentional way, I think is a really beautiful thing. Also, I would say it is pretty hard to, especially if you are moving to a place where a different language is spoken, it's hard to like not understand a language. Like I've never felt like more useless than like sitting in a conversation and I'm like, I don't know what is going on. I can't like say anything. I can't show my personality. I can't be a part of this because I don't understand what's going on. And that's something that was really hard for me at first, like just not knowing at all like what's happening. But I will say that it has been like really cool for me to push myself to try to learn another language and try to speak another language. And it may feel isolating at first, especially if you don't understand what's going on around you. It's hard to like, for me to book like doctor's appointments and stuff like that, or even like order food sometimes at a restaurant, because I'm just like not always completely sure of what's going on, especially medically. Like with your body, it's very overwhelming sometimes to like not know what's happening and like what the doctor's saying, like really trying to communicate. Okay, hi. It's a little bit later. My camera died, so I had to charge it for a little bit. But I think I was talking about like language barrier kind of problems and stuff, and how it can be a bit difficult, but it can also be so rewarding and like such a good challenge for your brain to push yourself to learn a new language, to be able to like speak to new people and just explore a new part of your brain and a new part of the world that goes with it. And all of the hard things are definitely outweighed by how like amazing it is to be in a new place and experience a new culture. I think I can speak most specifically for Italy because that's where I live and that's where I've been living, and I've only ever lived in California and Italy. So that's where my experience and my life comes from. But the food here is on another level. I think that the European Union has like stricter regulations on what food you can eat, and chemicals and hormones and pesticide rules and stuff like that, than the United States does. And so I just feel like in general the food here is so much cleaner and so much fresher. And I've noticed that, and also some friends that have gone back and forth between Europe and the United States have also noticed a really big difference in how they feel and just how food makes them feel. And also that I feel like here, especially in Italy, food is such like a beautiful community aspect, and I love like eating dinner with friends and like cooking together, and it's just such a fun experience that like I had in the United States, but not as much. And just so cool to learn like a lot of recipes and just really appreciate the food. Also, like the community here, I feel like it's so strong. I think especially where I was living in California, the Bay Area can be a little bit competitive and a little bit isolating. It feels a little bit insincere in some points. It feels a little bit networky, and I haven't felt that at all since moving here. I felt like it's truly been just like so beautifully like human connection. And I think especially since there's been like a language barrier with some people here, the extra effort of communicating with someone that you have a language barrier with is like, it's so authentic, it's so human, and it really comes from your heart. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, and I think that's something that really played a part into my decision of hopefully trying to like live here for the rest of my life, because community makes my heart so happy, and it's so strong here. And it's something that just, it affects me. It really makes my mental health like so much better to have like a community. And I had one at home, but I do feel like there is something maybe in the Italian culture that is very like spending time with friends. We go out for drinks, we watch movies together, we eat dinner together, we party together, we go on trips together, that I think was a lot harder to kind of organize in the United States, also for like money reasons. It's a little bit more affordable to do certain things here sometimes. And there's more access to like public events for free and like third spaces for free, which I think is really nice. And I would just say in general, like specifically for Italy, like anything you could possibly need is here. Like the mountains, the sea, the skiing, the sailing, the swimming, the hiking, it's all right here. And I think that it reminds me a lot of California in that way, but especially like lift tickets for skiing and gear rental is so much more affordable, that's been like a huge plus, a huge thing that I've noticed. Also, sort of medications and doctor's appointments are not only less expensive here, even if you're not a citizen, but also they're a lot quicker. Like in the United States, to make an appointment, at least a general doctor's appointment, can take anywhere between 6 to 24 months in my experience in the multiple places that I've lived in California. And specialist appointments like neurology, gynecology can sometimes take the same or longer depending on what you're going for. And I've noticed that here that's like not the case at all. You can get a doctor's appointment within a week. It's amazing. And even like going to a private place is still less expensive than the normal options in the United States. So that's a big difference. Like a private practice, you'll be able to book an appointment for sooner. You won't have to wait as long. But especially as an American coming over, the fact that I can book an appointment and I can go in like 3 days and it's still cheaper than what I waited like 7 months for back in the United States is insane. Like I feel so much more like protected in a way, because I feel like if something happens, I can go to a doctor. And that's not even like the emergency room in the clinics. Like I had to go to like urgent care here and it was completely free. And like, which is insane. Like that's mind blowing. That'll set you back at least $1,000 in the United States, which is like insane. Anyways, this is getting a little long, so I'm gonna cut it off here, but there's like so much more to talk about and there's so much more to share. I have so many like fun things that I've been thinking about in my brain, some not fun but mostly fun, that I want to like really talk about, and I think it'd be really cool to talk about. So also comment down below if there's any like specific things you're curious about, and I'm gonna dive into like language learning, kind of what it's been like to find another personality in another community in another language, a lot about traveling, cultural differences, racial differences, dating differences here, and also just like so many other things. And I'm just so excited, and I hope that you like this, and I'm sending you a hug. And if you're in Europe, stay hydrated and go to Zara for air conditioning. I'll see you next time. Arrivederci.